So if you need to ask any questions, please enter them in the chat box at the bottom of the screen, and we'll try to answer questions as we go along. Thank you for taking the time to attend our second webinar for 2019. Our topic is advanced Facebook and Instagram, and I hope that you'll learn a lot of extra tips and tricks that you didn't know about before. We also have a poll which will be showing up on your screen, I think now. Are you going to put it up, William, or do it later? Okay, please complete that so that it gives us an idea of the media usage that you have at the present time. I'd be very interested to see if what we're showing you today also helps you to do more later on. You can email us about that. I think most of you will have our email address already because of the invitation that went out for this session. Okay, on screen is your Zone 34 public image team. I'm Rotary Public Image Coordinator Sheila Bethel, and your presenters this evening are Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator Kelsey Mitchell, who's our social media guru, and a new addition to the team who isn't really supposed to be put to work until July but couldn't resist it. Welcome, William Innes. So Kelsey and William, over to you.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you guys so much just for joining us. We're really excited to share about Facebook and Instagram, and hopefully you guys learned some good new nuggets. So a little bit about kind of just the value, obviously the value of social media as a whole, but especially Facebook and Instagram. It is kind of the go-to for anybody to look for news and social events and understanding what their community members are doing, and just kind of to get general information. So Facebook and Instagram both are heavily utilized every single day. So you as a club member looking to increase visibility of your club and raise awareness for your projects and for some of your events within your club and even in your district, these are tools that are available to you that don't cost you any money, that you can help utilize to legitimize your club to potential donors or members. You can actually use them as tools to collect donations and to get people to join your club. And you also can utilize the followers that you have to market for you, and it's totally free.
And as you can see by the background photo we have there, while there are a plethora of valuable social media applications and services, our presentation today focuses on two of them, Facebook and Instagram. Their relationship, how they're very similar, but also how they have varying benefits and drawbacks of their own. So let's begin with our deep dive. What is Facebook great for? Facebook is great for sharing your original content, sharing the content of others, using different media like pictures, text, and video, connecting with different groups of peoples, the different demographics, promotion of your events and content, as well as advertising. And what is Instagram great for? Instagram is all about capturing moments. And does that sound familiar to anyone? The RI convention in Hamburg's tagline is capture the moment, as you can see there. So I think they're onto something with reaching out to younger members. But Instagram users interact with accounts in a very different way than they do with Facebook. Some of the key differences are Instagram is only photos and shorts of videos. They focus on original content, not curation. Users want to see an authentic content more so than on Facebook. Like, these are experiences that people have shared and is new to the community.
I will say as well, on Instagram, people tend to follow brands and people that they'd like to get to know a little bit more, versus Facebook, where you'll follow your friends. But Instagram is really, you have a lot of people that you're following that you don't necessarily know personally.
Again, yes, it's about the moments, not looking up business information or doing research. And also, there is a limited thing with Instagram, and it limits our ways to interact with accounts. You're just following. However, engagement tends to be much higher overall. And It's all about mobile. Everything is mobile devices these days. Just to give you an idea, the number of smartphone users worldwide, there are roughly 2.6 billion people who use smartphones, and 68% of traffic to Facebook and 98% of traffic to Instagram is all coming from mobile devices. As I mentioned, 2.6 billion people are using smartphones, and this will continue to trend upwards with time. It's expected that by 2020, 80% of global internet traffic will be attributed to video only. So start to think about the content that you're putting on Instagram or Facebook, and maybe start to play with how you can do video, because that is where the future is when it comes to social media.
I think the key thing about your videos as well to keep in mind is to keep them short, under 2 minutes. You tend to lose people's interest if your video is longer than that. So making sure that you kind of have some of those little tips and tricks, I guess, if you will, for video in mind as you're going through and creating that video content.
They say quality over there's a saying for it. You want the quality exactly over the quantity, and in this case, you want quality images in a shorter space of time because you're really vying for that attention. Let's advance. So there are a lot of people on social media, as you know. 2.8 billion active social medias worldwide, and that's an old number. We have over 37% global penetration, and it's growing by 22%. 69% of Americans, apparently, are on social media. It's a huge audience. And Facebook users watch over 100 million hours of video each day. More than 65% of those views happen on a mobile device. So image or video with every post is important. And also look at the demographics. We talked about how Instagram is a younger audience, and Facebook seems to be an older audience. It targets 40 years old and older. They're the ones that are active daily. So I want to talk to you now about scheduling posts. Now that you're all refreshed on the importance of adopting these tools, let's give you some tips and tricks to help you utilize Facebook to its potential. Part of the challenge of social media is content generation, which we lovingly call feeding the beast. Social media does not sleep, and we're all very busy people. So who has the time to constantly posting on Facebook about events and sharing content? Well, here's a secret that may help. It's called scheduling. When you're on Facebook page, when your Facebook page for your club or your district, click on Create Post, which is there in the top left-hand corner, and upload your content, which would be a photo or a video. Next, before you click on the Shared Now button, note there's a small drop-down box. You can click on it and select Schedule. So you can also save drafts if you like. You can see it to the bottom there. Make sure you put in your People of Action hashtag or whatever it is in terms of your text as well. And you can use this tool to plan a weekly feed of content. For example, take one afternoon and schedule your year's People of Action campaign. So there is a steady stream of content for your Facebook pages. Essentially, you can sit down and plan what day and time you want these posts to be visible. So if you wanted to do a weekly post, you can schedule that in one afternoon for your entire year, for your district or for your club. And once you do this, providing that steady stream of content, feeding the beast imperative that we have is completely satiated. Also, to really maximize your exposure, you can boost or basically pay to advertise your posts. It allows you to help proliferate your message, and you'll be surprised how far $10 can go. It will allow thousands of people to see your event or your public service announcement, even whether or not they are a person who is a fan of your page. So the previous slides showed this process on a desktop. However, as we discussed before, you can do this and much more from your mobile devices. There's a completely separate application available for download on your Google Play or Apple stores called Facebook Pages Manager. This is an example of that on your screen on the left. I'd strongly encourage you to download it and try it out. It will give you insights as to how many people had an impression on your post, if they've clicked on it, and will even give you details of the age groups of those that did so.
I really love this feature and this tool, especially if you're going to be boosting posts. You can use this to really manage your campaign. Like you said, you can go a long ways with only $10, and this actually allows you to measure your success over the course of the time. So let's say, you can choose to run a boosted post for anywhere from like a day, to a month or whatever you choose, and you can also target specific audiences. So you would be able to choose the demographics. You can choose, the ages, male or female. You can pick by location, so by your city or even, smaller than that. But it really gives you the ability to kind of own your content and who you're sending that out to. It also gives you visibility into the analytics behind it. So you can see how many people are clicking on your post, who it is that's engaging with your post and what their demographics are, and then how they engage. Did they like it? Did they comment? Did they share? And then you can track the number of views and all of that information and kind of aggregate that. You can use that as a tool to grow, maybe it's a specific club event that you're doing. Maybe you have like a wine event that you're hosting, a festival, and you want to get more people to come. You can use that information to kind of target the right people. And then also with your projects, if you're sharing, a particular project that you did maybe in one community, you can target that one community saying, hey, this is where we could really use your support. So you can create a call to action on that as well. Also, just a little tip is that Facebook does actually give out credits and discounts. If you have not boosted before, look into that. I know just my Rotary Club just last week actually got a $10 credit, and that's all we needed to do this one boost. So we boosted a post, and it actually was free for us, but it was giving us the ability to kind of try it out. So definitely look at that.
Yes, Kelsey, I had the same thing from my club too. So they did issue out these $10 vouchers, and it's quite useful. So if you haven't had a chance to explore the Facebook Pages Manager and also boosting, I'd highly encourage it. One more important tool is cross-posting. And this is the means in which you link your club or your district's Instagram account to your Facebook account. This will allow you to then automatically post images and videos with the same caption from Instagram automatically to Facebook. How easy is that? You post one thing in Instagram and it automatically goes to your Facebook. Once linked from your mobile device, as you can see on the screen here is an example from my club, you can select the account at the top, which you will post as. So now it says Rotary Central Cayman Islands and is no longer my personal account. Next, you can select the image or video you wish to share and select the appropriate filters if necessary. Sorry. And we have an example of that here. And I have a picture of a young lady with a Rotary wheel celebrating 32 years of inspiring women in Rotary. I think that's coming up next year. And you can see to the bottom which account it will be posted to. So Rotary Central Cayman is in blue, and that is the Instagram account. And then further down to the bottom, you see Rotary Central Cayman Islands, which is our Facebook account. And what it allows you to do is to share the caption as well as the message to all of those accounts simultaneously. And once you click share, that's it. The next thing also to note is if you use Twitter or Instagram, you can also link those accounts as well and post to those using Instagram, if those are of interest to you.
So a little bit more about Facebook and about video. you know, obviously video is extremely important, but live videos actually create a lot more interaction, even more so than just regular video. So looking at Facebook users, they watch 3 times more if it's actually a live video versus a pre-recorded. And they actually comment 10 times more the regular rate on live videos because there is that interaction. So if you're interested in doing a live video, there's several options that you have. You can do just, you know, one live video talking to your audience a little bit about maybe where you are, if you're in a particular area doing a project maybe or at an event. But you can also do a live video with 2 people, more like an interview style. So you would start your live video and then you can invite somebody else to join you once you go live. And it gives you kind of the dual screen. This is kind of a silly example, but it gives you the dual screen. So once you have that dual screen, it's really awesome because you really can interact with the other person, but then also with all the people that are commenting on your live stream. Doing this allows you to get more shares, and some ideas that I've seen people do with in relation to Rotary is I've seen them do like a district governor interview, which I actually thought was really cool. So I had somebody's public image share for their district and the district governor doing a live stream, and they did this dual screen and they did an interview back and forth, kind of understanding a little bit about, you know, what she was seeing in the district. Thought that was really great. I've seen Q&As on community leaders and understanding specific needs in some of the communities, which I thought, you know, was also good. And then looking at kind of the differences between this and a story is, you know, this is one thing, it's live right away, but you also have the ability to post it. So you can post it on your page after it's done, and then it'll show like a normal recording, or you can post it to your Facebook stories, which we'll talk about a little bit.
In my district also, I've seen people use these features to share the live opening ceremonies of either a district conference or even at convention. And that's a great way to connect and encourage excitement within your members in those areas as well.
Yes, absolutely. So looking at some of the other features that you have through Facebook, you can do polls. Similar to the poll that we did earlier in this call, you can do polls through Facebook, and you can give it a day or two, however long, for your results to come in. I think that's a cool kind of feature because it allows you to interact with the people, and you also are giving them more time to kind of complete that because some people won't see your post right away. You can ask for recommendations. This, I think, is a really cool feature. I see a lot more individuals using it than clubs, but I think about it in the content of, you know, Rotary means business and some of those things. I think you can, you know, ask for recommendations on your page and say, hey, who's doing this, and kind of use that almost like a perk to some of your members. I think that would be really cool. Looking at the 3D and 360 photos, I absolutely see this going along with our projects. I think about, you know, some of the water projects that we've done, and you can really see the kids, you know, in the area looking, you know, next to the filters or those things, and having a 3D photo or a 360 photo of where you are, I think would be, you know, very impactful. I think we've all seen the birthday fundraisers and how they support, you know, local nonprofits. So really utilizing that to support your club or your club's foundation. You can use lists and you can answer questions. There's even such a thing as watch parties. I mean, there are all sorts of resources and features that you have to choose from. And then on this screen, the second 2 kind of screenshots, if you will, those are from the Facebook ads and that ad manager campaign. So that kind of gives you a little bit of what that looks like and all the resources you have within there. So one of my favorite features is this next one. It's the Facebook Response Assistant. This, I feel like, has just saved my club in so many different ways. What this does is allows somebody to send a message to your club, and it sends them an automatic response right away. So they're not sitting there waiting for somebody to respond. It sends them a response, and you can put whatever you'd like in there. But our club says, you know, thanks so much for reaching out to Rome Rotary. Someone will be in touch with you within the next 24 hours. And it kind of sets that expectation of, you know, how long it's going to take you to respond. And I think that that actually is, you know, a really good feature. And looking at this, you know, people have over 7 billion conversations using Facebook Messenger every single day. So this really does allow you to kind of respond right away and be prompt. It's a really easy way to set it up. So you go into your settings, you go into messaging, and then you click on response assistant. So it really does enable you to have that in a super easy way. If you want to be an overachiever, there is actually something called a chat bot, which it takes this auto response, I would say, one step further. Chatbots are really cool, but it is an AI powered software that can interact with potential members or potential donors through your page and through your website, and you can incorporate that. That also is under settings. You have some options with this because it does require a little bit of coding knowledge, but you can send those directions to whoever your webmaster is and they can get that set up. But it's a really cool feature if you're looking towards that direction. So going through in even more in depth from that perspective is Facebook Pixel. Facebook Pixel. Now this may get a little too in the weeds, but again, you know, you can send this information to your webmaster, and they can really do that for you. But Facebook Pixel is an analytics tool that helps you measure the effectiveness of your advertising. So you can use Facebook Pixel to understand the actions that people are taking on your website, as well as reaching the audiences that you care about. So it helps you create better ads and targets by using the data and tracking that. So who's most likely to interact with your ad and who's most likely to interact in a particular way. So how the interactions are done. So even if you aren't currently using Facebook ads, you can actually create a pixel and it'll start collecting that data for you so that when you do go to use Facebook ads, it already kind of has some of that data. I put in here, there's 7 preset interactions, if you will, that you can choose from, or you can create your own custom interactions. So when you have your ad, your boosted post, you can say, call here for more information, and that, you know, would then link to your phone. Or you can say, purchase a ticket. So if you have an event and you're selling tickets and that's the post you're boosting, people can link directly to purchase a ticket. You can put things like join club, and then you can send them to your membership application. Or if you're doing this on a district page, you can do find club, and you can also do that so they can search through the other clubs. But essentially, it gives them a call to action.
And just a little bit more about Instagram. As you can see, they have over 600 million unique monthly users. 38% of them online are women, so it's predominantly female. 90% of Instagram users are under the age of 35. Does that sound like a demographic your membership teams would be interested in? Of Instagram users, 53 of them follow brands, which is what was discussed earlier. So look at these demographics. It's perfect for Rotary, skewing towards younger women and younger people overall.
So moving into marketing on Instagram, just like Facebook, you have the ability to use Instagram for marketing. There are insights, Instagram insights that you can utilize that will kind of track your content, how many times it was viewed, the total number of unique accounts that viewed a particular piece of content, website clicks, if you have a link to your website, how many clicks you got from your business profile page, understanding your follower activity, so how often your followers are on Instagram daily, what their patterns are, understanding when they're on so that you can know when to post your information. If you're posting a video, looking at how often your video content has been viewed, and then how many people have saved your post. So understanding if someone clicks the save button, that just means that they're going to go back and look at it, right? So understanding how many times and which people are the ones that are doing that.
So Instagram content. Where do you get the content for Instagram? It's essentially user-generated content, which would be yourself, for example, or it could be attendees at functions. It's a great way for you to share more intimate moments or behind the scenes peeks for events. Maybe it may be a project or a grant you're working on. It's a great way to share that unique moment. You can also share and tag influencers and share their content. And I have here a picture of Rotarian Evan Burrow. I don't know if you've seen him before, but he's a Rotarian out of Australia, and I follow him. He's an influencer for Rotary. And he has a famous Superman parody, as you can see in that photo, with the Rotary wheel on his chest. So these sort of inspirational influencers that share and inspire our members are what you'd want to share on Instagram. Try to select motivational images for your People of Action campaigns. And what do I mean by that? You want to make sure you see people, specifically Rotarians, in action. And use Instagram. You can use Instagram also for contests and giveaways to help drive traffic and build brand awareness.
So looking at this, on the left-hand side, you see Rotary International's Instagram page. One thing that I think Rotary does really, really well is utilize the highlight feature. So we mentioned stories through both Facebook and Instagram, but stories have the ability to be posted for 24 hours and then they disappear. So the highlight feature actually gives you almost like a shortcut link and categorization of your stories. So if you see just above the main feed, you'll see Rotaract, Magazine, Peace, Fellowships. Those are the highlights that Rotary has chosen to categorize. And I feel like it's a really amazing opportunity that it really creates kind of a unique experience on your page. And I really like that option within stories. So looking forward, there are several options within stories. You can go live on Instagram. You can do what's called a boomerang, which is a 3-second clip that just kind of keeps replaying back and forth. You can type, which is just words, focus, rewind, hands-free. You can use stickers, face filters. I will say my favorite option that you have within Instagram stories is called a super zoom. It is really just several different, they're almost similar to filters, but it's different video clips. I think it's quite possibly the coolest feature on Instagram as a whole, just because I really love it. But it allows you to zoom super close to your subject, and it has multiple modes that you can switch between. So an example would be, like it kind of blows up a bunch of different hearts around your image, and it slow zooms in with kind of some soft music. That's one. There's a TV show. There's one that's Surprise that looks like a superhero comic. There's one that has like a big X and it says nope. And I think about, looking at the polio vaccine but looking at, children with polio, you can put that picture and it's got nope in it. It's just a really cool feature. There's some dramatic and suspenseful ones. So definitely kind of check that out and play it around. It really is cool. And it offers a different and unique kind of play on your stories. So another feature that you have through Instagram stories is the swipe up. The swipe up can be a direct link to your website. It can be a direct link to give somebody more information about a project, event, or even just about your club or district in general. But what you do is you create your story, you add a link, and I kind of show you this step by step. But then once somebody views your story, all they got to do with the swipe of their finger up, they go directly to that other page. Through stories, you can also tag people, clubs, you can tag Rotary International, you can share other people's stories also within your stories. So, William mentioned using other people's content. Absolutely, share people's stories to your page. It's a great way to have content without actually having to go through and create all of the content from scratch every time. So some of the other cool features and things that are kind of unique on Instagram, I will say this giant square app is something that I also personally find really cool. It's kind of a new trend, but this takes one image. There's two different apps that I know of, but I'm sure there's several, but it takes one image and it cuts it up into however many boxes you choose, but then it posts it, so it makes it look like a very unique experience. As you can see in the example, somebody comes to your page and they see one giant picture versus the opposing where they see multiple pictures. It's just a really unique way to kind of make your profile a little bit different. So if your club has, a particular project, like my club in Florida does those free little libraries, and one of our libraries is just so amazing looking, and I think about how amazing this app would make that look on our feed. So it's definitely something to think about. The apps that we use is the Giant Square app and the 9Cut Insta. Those two apps are really great, and they're very easy to use, mobile friendly. So I would say, looking forward as well, with all of these things that we've kind of shared with you, the most important thing is what you're putting out there and your content, making sure that your content is impactful. Rotary gives you a ton of different tools to use. Within the Brand Center, you have, the People of Action campaign that you use. These pictures on the top left, I pulled that picture down from the Brand Center, and I just feel like it showcases the emotion. It showcases how excited these people are and the projects and things that they're doing. If you look on the bottom left, this is Alexis. She's actually a very good friend of mine, and this is her induction into Rotary. I think about the fact that you always have, these inductions. You always have people, and you kind of take the same picture every time. But I really love this picture. It showcases her emotion, and action and emotion are the two things you want in your pictures. On the bottom right here, we have a Rotarian from Georgia who is at a school, and I just love this picture as well because you see how excited he is. In this top right corner, that's actually me and my daughter Audrey. We were at an event kind of helping with foster families, and she had been playing with the kids all day, and she learned just before this picture was taken, she learned what it meant to be a foster child, and it's such a special picture. And I actually it's kind of hard for me to watch and look at this picture just because you see the emotion in her eyes and she learns just in that moment. And I think these are the types of pictures that you really want to showcase because they do draw on people's emotion. Looking at, somebody actually just posted, but looking at too, something that we have not really touched on, but that we should, is hashtags. Hashtags are a great tool, and I think actually William maybe mentioned it earlier, but hashtags are a great tool. For those of you that don't know what they are, they actually, it's the pound sign, but it aggregates all the data. Both Facebook and Instagram and even Twitter utilizes it, but it aggregates all the posts from anybody that uses that particular hashtag, and that's a really cool feature. You can do ones that are specific, so if you have a particular global grant, or you can do ones also that are more general to kind of captivate a broader audience. But the People of Action campaign is commonly used. Rotary International, that's also commonly used as a hashtag.
Yes, I think it's hashtag People of Action. And what you can do with those hashtags is you can follow that as well. And anybody that uses it, it'll come up in your feed. So you'll be able to see what other people are doing as People of Action.
We do actually have an entire webinar on hashtags. We've done this before in one of these sessions, and it went over really well. And I think a lot of people kind of don't really understand how to use hashtags. So if that is something you're interested in, definitely check out that webinar. But understanding the key basics, don't put too many hashtags in one post. Don't make your hashtags super long because then nobody will really understand. but utilizing them at the right time and with the right length, you really can make a very, very big impact.
Kelsey, where is the resource for that webinar on hashtags? Would that be on the Zone 34 Public Image website?
That would be, and our website is myrotarystory.org.
myrotarystory.org.
Mm-hmm. So we have all of our webinars that we do on that website. There's also, so there's My Rotary Story. We actually did a video campaign where we actually wanted people to take videos of themselves, 2 minutes or less, but take videos of themselves and sharing their Rotary story. And there are tons of those on there. And that in itself is like instant content, because you hear people's story and it's amazing. You actually get to understand how they became a member of Rotary, and or how they went from being a member of Rotary to being a Rotarian, because obviously I think those of us on this call all probably know that that's a very different experience. And I think that that's something that sharing your story and sharing what you've been through is really important, and it's impactful for sure on others.
We had a few latecomers join us, and what I'd like to do is maybe relaunch the poll, and if you can just do the answer to your poll again so we can share the results. So I'm going to relaunch the poll right now. If you could please vote, which of these do you use regularly? And it's multiple choice. We'll just give you 2 minutes to do that.
I think something that's interesting to kind of talk about that as well is, maybe you use these, but do you use them regularly? Are they something that are up to date? I know a lot of Rotary clubs kind of struggle with content and almost kind of dormant pages. I know my club in particular, it was maybe a year in between some of the posts. And so that is kind of what you want to avoid. And so working with your public image chair or your president, whomever it is that's in charge of it, making sure that you have content or anything. We've talked about sharing other people's content. Where do you bring from? That's definitely something. I know a question that people always ask us is, well, how do you come up with all this stuff? Rotary has so many resources for you. I don't know if you know, but Rotary has a blog. I mean, even that in itself, you can share their blog posts all the time, is really amazing. But being consistent on your posts, making sure that, if you're going to have a page, make sure you're consistent with posting, because the last thing you want is somebody to go out and search for you and then have nothing on your page for the last 2 years.
Well, the results of our polls should be on your screens now. Wow. So it looks like Facebook and Instagram are the 2 leaders, which makes sense because this is a webinar on Facebook and Instagram. And we also have YouTube and LinkedIn as other favorites as well.
I do think Twitter is, I find a lot of people say that's really confusing for them. They don't really understand how to use it. Maybe that's a webinar coming up. Marshall, maybe, but maybe Marshall will do that one. But I think this is great. I definitely see all clubs need a Facebook page, and in my opinion, an Instagram page. As long as it's consistent, it's going to be the best way for you to get new Rotarians to join your club, and also to get people to support your projects. The other thing I was just thinking about content also is, Rotary uses monthly themes. We have those resources available to you as well, so you can definitely utilize that.
I think at this time we have a couple questions that came through our chat today. Did we want to attend to those now?
Yeah.
So we had a question from Denise. Denise was asking, in regards to dealing with the settings with Facebook, is it easier to do this on a computer than a mobile device, changing the settings of the page?
Are you referring to like the Facebook response assistant and those settings? If that's the case, then I would definitely say yes, it's easier to do this on a actual web page, so on the computer. I personally think that there are some things you can do on Facebook, like adding a page roll. You can do that on a mobile device pretty easily. but these messaging settings are a little bit more in depth, and so I do feel like it's much easier to do them on the computer.
Think about mobile devices and what that's used for. You're on the go, and typically that information you'd want to have access to if you're looking to do a post or need to do something remotely. When you're looking at changing settings, it may be better to do it on the computer for certain, but certainly both tools are powerful for sure.
Absolutely. And I know if you're interested in the chat bot, that definitely needs to be done from a website, just because you'd actually have to input the code into your website. And that feature, it's just so cool. People can visit your website and they can send you messages directly to your Facebook page, your Messenger, and it's such a cool feature.
And obviously you need to make sure you check those messages. Yeah. So the Facebook Pages app will allow you to see real time those messages being sent to the club or to your district, and you'll be able to respond to them as well. If you have any other further questions, please feel free to message us and we can talk through them. Kelsey, did you have any?
No, I didn't have any come through, but I have heard, I know people have talked a little bit about tools that they use to kind of help create videos and images. We've talked in previous webinars a little bit about Canva, which is kind of a graphic design tool. I really love using that tool because it allows you to create things like infographics to just like a regular post. But then also you can create flyers and invitations, all sorts of things that your club can utilize, and it's a free tool. I know Marshall is a really big fan of If This Then That. That's also a really cool feature or a really cool app. That kind of allows you to, do something even as simple as, if I use this hashtag, post my post to my social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And it really aggregates it, kind of where William went through. You can go from Instagram to Twitter. So this makes it very specific if you post from one particular hashtag. And it does everything all the way to blinking the lights in your home to all sorts of cool stuff.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions at this time. Sheila, do you have any further thoughts?
It's the thing is that there are so many options nowadays for Facebook and Instagram. We've scratched the surface with the most important things. But if you have questions about either of the two programs, please, as I said earlier, feel free to email us. We have an email link on our myrotarystory.org website. You could just click on that and send us your questions, and either one of us will get back to you as soon as we can. Don't hesitate. A lot of people don't like to bother bother other people with questions, but that's what we're here for. The Public Image team is here to support you, to help you, to make things easier for you wherever we can. And remember, it's not just William and Kelsey and myself. We also have Marshall Butler and Susan Corter. So there's a whole team of us that are wanting to help you. Please contact us.
And we do everything from helping your public image chairs kind of create your content and some of your ideas, but then also looking at, we've done club visits where we've gone and we've done presentations to clubs a little bit about public image, or how it relates to the foundation or how it relates to membership.
Yeah, we can also advise.
Hey,
Marshall, carry on.
Sheila, yeah, did you want to mention the public image citation?
Oh, I will in a moment, but is that what you were going to mention?
No, I was just going to make sure we covered that for everyone while they're on the webinar.
While we have them captive, you mean?
That's right.
Yes, everyone, the public image citation for Rotary clubs is due April the 15th. And I hope that you're going to encourage your clubs to enter. It gives you also, I mean, it should be used as a tool to guide you throughout the year. We'll be sending out the one for next year very soon, within the next week. And encourage your club to use it to plan their public image output for the next year. It is basically linked in with the presidential citation. We have some similar things on there, but also ours is obviously broader because it's just public image. So please, next year definitely have a look at participating with that. This year, there's still time to encourage your club to send in their citation. If your president or public image chair doesn't have a copy of it, it is on the Zone 3334 website for download, and it's also on our myrotarystory.org website. So download from either of those.
Also, please share what you guys are doing, what your clubs or your districts are doing. Part of us as your zone team, we really want to help feature you as well. So if you guys are doing something that's really, really unique or really cool, please send that to us. We would definitely love to see that information.
Yeah, and hey, Kelsey, along those lines, a really good recommendation that I think folks might find helpful is on Instagram. You can actually follow hashtags now. And so I follow a hashtag service above self, hashtag service above self. And it's really interesting to see what Rotarians around the world, how they're using Instagram. You can follow the hashtag people of action, the hashtag Rotary. And it really is inspirational sometimes and gives you ideas of how others are using the channels for their own clubs and provides inspiration on how you can use it for your club. So that's a pretty neat feature. You can do it both for Twitter and for Instagram, where you can follow various hashtags and kind of see what others are, how they're using the channels.
Absolutely.
I want to give a quick shout out as well about our Zone 34 video contest. This is a club video contest, and it's about, the theme is how your club became an inspiration in the past year. All the details again are available on the Zone and our own website. Please enter. It's an interesting contest. We also have judges that look at the videos. We also have an online contest, and we put that on Facebook. That's something we didn't mention. You can run contests on Facebook. What we do is we have all the videos that are entered on there, and people can go on and vote once a day. I usually leave the voting up for about a week, and towards the end it gets really hot with one club going ahead and then another club coming up, and it gets really quite exciting. So there are two ways that you can be the champions for this year. And it's also very interesting, as we said earlier, video is king. Video is the way that people are going to be moving their stories out there in the future, a lot more than they are now. So get into it. It doesn't have to be a kind of professional my brain's gone. It doesn't have to be something really professional. Nowadays you can do the most awesome videos just on your phone. Your iPhone, your smartphone has so many options now. Kelsey, do you want to quickly talk about those, or Marshall? You gone?
I'll defer to Kelsey.
Oh.
He is the mobile phone video editor master.
I do everything on my phone. I just
my eyes are too old.
Yeah, I'm very heavy Apple products, so I use iMovie, but there also is like Viva Video. That's an option for you Android users, but I love iMovie. But it's it's anything. You can take small clips, put it together. You can add even like almost like movie credit looking titles, those things. There's different features that you can kind of pull in different themes, so you can make it look like a news broadcast. I mean, the options are really endless with these mobile apps that allow you to kind of edit your videos. He's got Filmora up there. I mean, there's great options for you. And I really love it because it kind of puts at your fingertips. It gives you the ability to, you know, to just create something really special and really unique in a matter of seconds. I think back to when we were at Zone, you know, we did a Toys for Tot, you know, where we went out and we bought a bunch of toys, and then we brought them in and kind of packed them up on this stage, and there was like hundreds of thousands of toys. And I took a small video using my phone. It was like a 30-40 second video, and I kind of did the time screen, or what is it called, Marshall? I'm totally losing it now.
Time lapse.
Time lapse, thank you.
Time lapse.
So I did a time lapse, which basically takes, you know, a 10-minute video and shrinks it down and makes it go super fast into only like 30 seconds. So I did this time lapse, and I added music behind it, and I add titles and images, and it just was really cool. And it took me maybe 10 minutes on my phone to actually edit the whole thing. I mean, it was really easy, and it was such an impactful video.
Where was it posted? I'm just curious.
We posted that on our Zone Facebook page.
Everybody, when you do your videos, don't just send them in for the contest. There's so much that you can do with them. Put them on your Facebook page. Put them on your Instagram, YouTube, anything, anywhere. They're publicity for your club. If you can, and you have the contacts at a local TV station, see if they'll run them as a PSA. And, you know, just utilize them and get the message out there. They are showcasing your club, and they can help you with enhancing your image in the community and possibly getting funding coming in from sponsors, and also enhancing your members' actual experience of the club and instill pride in them, and possibly get new members in as well. Hello.
Great.
Oh, one more thing that I promised that I was going to remind everybody every chance that we have. When you take photos of your club, of club activities, of anything, make sure you save high resolution versions of those photos. A lot of times people will allow those photos to be compressed. They may upload them to a social channel like Facebook or Instagram, and then later think, hey, I need to go get that photo because I want to use it in a print piece, or I want to use it on the screen or something like that. A lot of times these channels will have compressed those images to a point where they can no longer be zoomed in or used in a larger format. So get into the habit of saving high resolution, full size copies of all these photos because you never know when you're going to have a need to use a club image or a club activity in a brochure or as a part of a PowerPoint. So don't let other channels compress your photos. Keep those full versions for future use.
Good reminder, Marshall. We've had, over the time that we've been working on various projects, the public image team, we have a horrendous time getting good quality photographs that we can utilize away from just social media. Anybody else?
That's right.
If you have any more questions.
A quick reminder is Kelsey mentioned earlier if this then that, and that I'm a big fan of that. One of the things you can do is use if this then that, so that when you post photos to use the tool to post photos to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can also have if this then that, save those photos into a Dropbox folder, and it kind of creates that automatic archive of those full-size photos for you to use in future use. So think about using a tool like if this then that to connect to your Dropbox, all your social media channels, and keep a copy of all those photos for future. There we go. Love it.
Okay, I think we've more or less wrapped now. We're coming up on 7 o'clock. Last chance, if any of you have any questions, please, enter them in the chat. We're very grateful that you took time to come and join us for this session. I hope that you've learned a lot of extra useful things that you can take back to your clubs or district and tell everybody about. One of the powerful things about doing something like these webinars is that the people that come on here, we're hoping that they are then going to be messengers that will go out and say, hey, did you know that we can do this? And start utilizing these different tools that we've been telling you about. It's sharing, like on Facebook, is the important thing to do. That's how everybody will get much better at utilizing Facebook and Instagram, and just generally get a better and more powerful image out there for Rotary. So
And I had one question, and the question was, where would a copy of this presentation be after this completed?
It'll take me till at least tomorrow to edit it and get it up on the website. So what I suggest you do is, where are we? Tuesday? Take a look on Thursday and everything should be up there. What I'll post the actual PowerPoint and also the recording of the sessions, so that if you just want to download the PowerPoint itself without the talk on it, you can do. And please feel free to utilize it in your club or district or whatever. Anybody
and that
else?
website again is myrotarystory.org. myrotarystory.org.
Okay, everyone, I think that's a wrap. Thank you once again. Kelsey and William, awesome job. And Marshall, thank you for joining in as well.